Now, for more insight into this crucial topic, we're joined in the studio by Professor Liu Huawen from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. Thank you very much for joining us, Professor. So we know that since the year 2012, the Chinese authorities have been waging a very tough campaign on anti-corruption. So since then, we can see that corrupt officials being put into jail, new mechanisms being implemented, and even new laws being ratified. Despite all these achievements, President Xi Jinping still says the war on corruption is far from over. What's your interpretation on President's remarks?
Yes, as we all have seen, the political willing of anti-corruption in China is quite high, from the top to the bottom. Till now, there are many so-called tigers and flies have been caught, and the achievement is huge. Not only many cases have been dealt with, but also the cleanness and good governance of the society is enhanced. The trend is obvious. That is, the anti-corruption fight is being conducted more and more according to the law. And in my eyes, the development of rule of law in China is the very basis of the anti-corruption campaign. China has revised its criminal law, criminal procedural law, and even the disciplinary rules inside the leading party. The improvement of legislation and the strengthening of the laws is quite conducive to the advancement of the fight against corruption.
Well, Professor, let's talk about Operation Skynet. We know it's a massive legal action against those corrupt officials fled overseas. But when dealing with this, it seems like a more complicated issue. On the one hand, you have to deal with international law. On the other hand, you also have to deal with domestic law in destination countries. So what's the key to this obstacle?
You are quite right. Today, in time of globalization, corruption very often occurs internationally. For China, there are many corrupt officials fled abroad. How to bring them back, bring them to the court, and how to return the illegal properties home is a very big challenge. We are the state party to the UN Convention against Corruption. We attach a lot of significances to the international cooperation, but still we need detailed operational bilateral arrangements for extradition and repatriation of the suspects and return of the illegal properties. Still, we do not have bilateral treaties with the US and some other important Western countries. What's more, the efficiency for us to use the existing treaties is not very high. So I say still we need to improve the laws and treaties. Meanwhile, we need to promote capacity building for the local national law officers. And additionally, the trust building for international society for between the states are very much important.
Thank you very much, Professor Liu Huawen from the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences.